Ethnogenesis asks, is a Jeet pie the incarnation of capitalist greed? This is going to be a good video.
Looks like a beautiful day outside. The perfect weather for a
Q&A. Welcome to the third Q&A. So we're going to have a nice day out today. I'm going to head... I'm heading to Wells. Fatih Suleiman Aksu asks, what's your favorite animal? Interesting question. Actually, it's not an interesting question, it's a very boring question. I don't know, I flip-flop a bit. Like a fish! So I'd say it's either meerkats or otters. I don't know why otters. Otters. Lion Dog ZXA asks, what sauces would you like to use in the future? I tend to favor things from my childhood, so I guess some old like 90s cartoons or something, like Cartoon Network shows or something like that I'd probably want to use at some point. We will see. What would you like to see in a future Crash game? I think I'd like to see a proper Crash Bandicoot 4, like in the same kind of style as the Insane Trilogy, maybe made by Vicarious Visions as well. That seems likely. But like, you know, just expanding on the concept of the original 3 games. Maybe even another open world game. I don't know, I'd be happy with that. But I think we've had enough remakes. I don't think there needs to be any more remakes. I feel weird holding this. Favorite anime? If you've never watched any, which ones have interested you? I don't have one, and none. I have a significant lack of interest. Why? Favorite moment of the Jimmy D tennis match? I mean, it's not quite over yet, but I think my favorite moment so far has been just after round 2 was released, because I did a kind of mediocre poop for the first round, and then Jimmy turned that into something amazing for the second round, and I think that just set the basis and was like, okay, so this is how we're doing this. Yeah, this is going to be good, and I knew from that point, like, yeah, this is going to be a good match overall. Ether Tail asks, if you've heard of it, do you like the Bayonetta series? If I've heard of it, not really. If I've played it, then I might have liked it. Don't know what that's supposed to mean. Time Master asks, what did you do before YTPs? I did stuff like this.
Sorry.
What is wrong with you? Stupid.
Thank you.
Andrew Shawhart asks, how many video games have you thought about making YTPs out of? I'm trying to remember some of the funny responses I came up with for some of these. Maybe some more old PS1 games, because I do have a lot of them. It might be interesting to turn a few of those into YTPs. Do you like Bloom 06, the ex-Eiffel 65 project from 06 to 10? I haven't heard of that. In fact, I think the only Eiffel 65 song I've heard is the one that everyone knows, you know.
Cause he ain't got nobody to listen. Somebody once told me the world.
Trusty Cranberry asks, how do you type with boxing gloves on? The Goddess of Edge asks, are you actually slice of bread wearing a human form? Right, you ask. No, I suppose there's a grain of truth to it. Actually, forget I said that. Sonic Gamer asks, are you a brony? Nope. James Miller asks, do you like big butts? Nope. Matt L. Bandicoot asks, how could Mr. Krabs turn a fucking stupid calculator into a Mario head tracker? Yeah. You know, the one thing Excuse me for 1 second. Mike Kelly Plays 964 asks, can you do more YTP? Sandy did it. Sandy helped him using the residue from above Mr. Krabs' fireplace. Wells Seymour, I made it. Get it? Oh god, there's people there. There's one of the native swans. Just like in the movie. Tin Can the Shrimp says, I'll get to my questions in a moment, but first, I wanted to congratulate you. Well done, and congrats on your landmark numbers. I've always enjoyed your videos and I cannot wait to see what comes next. Well, thank you. Thank you very much. It means a lot. What is your favorite candy? What's a candy? Have you ever met any YouTube poopers in real life? Quite possibly, yeah. But none that I knew were YouTube poopers. Would you ever consider taking source suggestions? Funny you should bring that up because I actually have plans to do that. In about a week's time, actually, I will be announcing that I will be taking source suggestions for a limited time. I'll explain the details in the announcement video that will come next week. So yeah, Yes, why did I choose to do this next to a busy road? Who would you say is your favorite pooper? Well, I mean, I think that's pretty obvious, isn't it? Me. What would you say was the most embarrassing moment of your life so far? The first Q&A? No, honestly, I don't know. A lot of the time it's hard to tell the difference between embarrassment and social anxiety. Now that's funny. What is your least favorite? I keep thinking I'm hearing things. What is your least favorite candy? Again, what is this candy thing? Is it like candy floss? I love candy floss. Thanks for all the poop so far, thank you. Princess Maria asks, what are some of your favorite cartoons and video games? Anything from the 90s. Modern stuff sucks. No, but seriously, a lot of my favorite stuff is from the 90s. I can't help it. Dis Boudreau asks, weren't we having steamed clams?
It's over. Get out of my car now.
Bricketown says, 2 questions. What is a sauce you will never use? I'm thinking King of the Hill, because it's been overused and also I've never watched it. And why was your clock completely the wrong time? Because the battery died. Tengaku87 says, you wanted some questions, so here's some. Also, congrats on hitting those milestones and reaching 1 million views on one video. Which video of yours was the most fun to make? I definitely still think Mash Bandicoot. It was the most fun to plan the story, to do the interactions with the characters, to edit, to do stupid jokes and just make it a nice whole thing. It was just an overall really fun video to make from start to finish. In your opinion, what would an ideal YouTube poop look like? Everyone has a different view on what an ideal YouTube poop should be, and I know you asked for my opinion, but honestly I think it's more important that it pertains to the person making the YouTube poop, and that they do what they think is funny or entertaining, and just that they have fun with it, and that's probably what they'll look for in other people's YouTube poops. If you had an evil clone of yourself, what do you think you would be like? / do? No, you didn't say slash. I don't know, I guess just, you know, stab people. Dave K says, I don't mean to alarm you, but what's that behind you? Don't do that. Jardy Gloven says, do you like coffee in your pizza? No, not really. I don't think it would blend with the pineapple very well. Connor R asks, will you announce... Pineapple? Don't worry, he was the evil one. Mr. Poot asks, what do you think about the YTP community from 2009 compared to now? Honestly, I don't think it's changed all that much. I mean, you know, people have come and gone and it's dipped in and out of relevancy here and there, and you know, I think it's made a bit of a resurgence in the past couple of years. But yeah, no, I guess overall, the mentality towards it hasn't really changed. What's your favorite YouTube pooper who has stopped making YTPs? I'm gonna go with Cartoon Lover 98. His YouTube poops were very funny. They had a very cartoonish style. And so I'm glad that he is actually making cartoons now and doing what he really enjoys. Blake Rutt asks, have you completed Ratchet & Clank? And if not, do you plan on completing it? I do, and I will do some more Ratchet & Clank on the channel when I get some spare time. Jared Simpson says, question, what do you reckon you'll be doing with the channel? Whether it's continuing to be a meme lord or doing something else, God knows what that something else is. Well, I don't know about the meme lord part, but yeah, God knows. Cool Nerd 20x6 says, no he doesn't. Aside from your YTP of the episode, why did you choose the Tattletale Strangler as the basis for your avatar? There is no other reason. Now that you're done with the YTP tennis with Jimmy Davis, who else would you want to do YTP tennis with? I think if I did it again, I'd probably want to do it with a lesser known pooper, as long as it's somebody of whom I enjoy their work. Was that a correct use of whom? How do you feel about the concept of there being a sort of annual convention for YouTube poopers? YTPCon or something? That sounds really awesome. I don't think anything like that could ever be organized, although, I don't know. I'm not sure if I'd go to it, but I'd definitely be in support of it. If your real name is Daniel, why is your username NPCarlsson? I don't know. Why is your username CoolNerd20x6 when your real name's Josiah? Bet you didn't think I knew that, did you? Who are some of your favorite YouTubers, YTP or otherwise? I guess some of my favorite YouTubers are ones where I will watch every new video they upload, like IHE, Crystal Fissure, H3H3, Pat Strikes Back, to name a few. I hope you know how to answer this. Am I? Oh, Have you found any new YouTube poopers that you think people should check out? Kind of like how Grandpa Lemon introduced me to you. There's a couple. Hour of Poop is one of them. Their videos are incredibly well edited. And they're probably the most British YouTube poops you could ever find. And another one that some of you may not know, Corey the Norm. I saw his entry in the Magic School Bus collab and I thought, oh, that was pretty good. Then I saw his entry in the Robot Chicken collab and I thought, yeah, no, I'm sold on this guy. Sean Munn asks, how do you make your YTPs so creative? Well, I try to branch out and try new things each time. New editing technique, new style of humor, or just a new source. I want each of my videos to stand out on their own. Okay, that's that for that. So that's the church where the bit on the top fell off and fell on that guy's head in the movie. I'll play a clip. Gore warning. Floral Man asks, are you a fan of pro wrestling? Yeah, wrestling's alright, so I'd be happy with any movement supporting it. What is the creepiest fan message / encounter you have had? One time a guy said he wanted to meet me and shake my hand. That was a scary time. Have you ever been recognized in public? If so, what do? I say, hey, what's going on? Philip J. Fry II asks, could you promise me to stay crispy and fresh in the future?
You bet!
What is your favorite video? I'm gonna put a URL right here. Type that in and you'll find my favorite video ever. Do you love Wallace and Gromit?
The fuck does Gromit mean?
Here's a funny story. At primary school, some of my friends told me that I couldn't be a fan of Wallace and Gromit because I didn't like cheese. Humanity has evolved since then. Ever visited my country, the Netherlands? Come to Charlois, Rotterdam, or anywhere.
Liverpool!
What's going on? Pokemon Pals asks, what's your favorite scene for Mash Bandicoot? I think my favorite scene is everything from when Robotnik captures Cortex to Cortex regaining control. All the dialogue segments of that, like the flashback stuff, all of that was just a really nice thing to add in the video. It would have been missing a lot if it didn't have that. VH Productions asks, can you do a Don't Hug Me I'm Scared YTP? I did one. How do I make bone trousel in Sony Vegas pitch shift effect using Don't Hug Me I'm Scared 4? I don't know how to use Sony Vegas, but you just find out the pitch of the little sound clip you're using, find out the note of the song you're matching it to, match them up, rinse and repeat, something like this. If you could do literally anything that is in your imagination, what would you do? Example, turn into a rocket and crash into Jupiter. Well, now that's the only thing I want to do. Is time a construct of human perception, which is an illusion created by remove this bracket thing, but after you finish reading the question, the clock from Don't Hug Me I'm Scared 2 jumps in screaming meh 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 at you. Don't tell me how to edit my videos. Sandy Ego asks, alright, what are you doing?
Oh, just stretching my clams.
What are some sources that have never or at least rarely been used in YTPs but that you would like to use / see other people use? Probably like more live action shows, sitcoms maybe, or old British comedies. Have you heard about the Count Dankula situation? If so, what are your thoughts on it? I think it's ridiculous. Any sane person would. I mean, how does Hitler Dog harm anyone? It's not like he's gonna only bite Jews. Mayo or mustard? Both equally terrible. Death battle. Hunter the Cheetah versus the Nunchuck champion, Mr. Cheap Cheap. Who would win? Hunter. One swift arrow to the nuts. Are you still planning to revisit your old Dibdee series at some point? Personally, I don't remember a whole lot about it, but I remember watching and liking it after watching you talk about it in one of your milestone videos. I have plans. I have no idea how far in the future those plans will be met. Met? Do you meet plans? What are your thoughts on season 11 of SpongeBob? I've seen a couple episodes and it's definitely gotten better. It's not quite as good as it once was, but it's definitely on the right track. Onion and Green Onion asks, do you have an accent? Well, yeah. I mean, doesn't every single person have an accent? Mine is a sort of Somerset. I guess it's Somerset. I live in Somerset, it would make sense. Did you expect your Steamed Hams Inc. to be number 3 on trending?
No.
I think I'm still in shock about it. How did that happen? How did that actually happen? Where is my dinner? Repeating jokes is funny. Ah, I got stung. Dr. Y asks, favorite show currently airing on TV? Young Sheldon. I can't say that seriously. I want to say it seriously because I do actually mean it seriously. What inspired you to make YouTube poops? Watching other people and thinking, hey, I could do that. What film/game and show are you most excited for in 2018? Film, Incredibles 2. Game, Spyro Reignited. TV show, Young Sheldon. Oh, I hate it when people on bikes pass me because then it's like, okay, well they definitely heard me talking to myself. What other things do you plan on making YTPs out of besides SpongeBob? Well, who said I was planning another SpongeBob poop? Me, probably. Toaster asks, am I watching the discount shitposting Jacksepticeye? I have to say, I find that very offensive. I don't shitpost. Smallville High Productions asks, what is your history on how you approached Doctor Who? I guess I technically started watching it when it came back, Series 1 in 2005, but I didn't really get into it until Series 2, and now I have watched every single episode, and I will continue to watch it, regardless of my views on the show as a whole. Swirly751 asks, when you made this video, did you do a lot of drugs? I wouldn't say a lot. Three bells. We all know what 3 bells means. It's 3 o'clock. Yeah, it seems impressive, but then there's like 5 of these in this city. Pivot Montiero asks, do you like eggs? I have a kind of love-hate relationship with eggs. I wouldn't order them, but if somebody else ordered them and then they didn't want them, I'd happily eat them for them. Poop TV asks, would you try Sony Vegas so that you can mask without paint and have a video preview? VSDC, VDSC, whichever one. It's actually gotten a lot better, the newer versions at least. The video preview does work, not as good as it would if it was like, you know, playing the final exported video, obviously, but it definitely works a lot better, and I don't use paint for masking anymore. Now I use Fire Alpaca, which is a lot better. It's still, you know, is that level of tedious, you know, taking a screenshot every single frame, cutting out every single frame, inserting them back into the video. I'm sure it would be easier with Sony Vegas, but again, I'm comfortable with what I use, so it gets the job done, and I'm happy with it. I found a stick. I don't want it. Do you know that Jimmy D is on England? I'm picturing like a giant Jimmy, just like stepping across the land. What would you do if he came to your house? I'd panic. I'd probably hide because we didn't plan anything, and I didn't tell him where I live. Kaiserreich / Emperor of Ohio. Please do a face reveal. Okay, remember to edit something in there. Do you has a girlfriend? And if you don't feel comfortable with that, then are you planning on making videos like the steamed hams one? Why would you assume I wouldn't feel comfortable having a girlfriend? And yeah, I guess I will be making videos like the steamed hams one, but not exactly like the steamed hams one. Dr. Doof says, question? I'm making you a fan game. Would you play it? Not on camera, just in your own time. It's based off of Mash Bandicoot. Yeah, absolutely. Would you object to me playing it on camera? Because I'd be happy to. If not, then yeah, I definitely still play it. Derps McPineapple says, what's the first YTP you remember seeing, and what about YTPs inspired you to make your own? First YTP that I can remember seeing, probably wasn't the first one I saw, but it was called Cortex Has Issues by Slam Man. It's still a very good video and it still holds up, and if I can find it somewhere, then I'll play a bit here.
You know, you should try it. It's pretty fun. You should try it. You know, very fun, like you guys. But best of all, I will use this army to have fun. And I shall call this army the Faces of Fools. No!
That name's
great! Well, actually, it's pretty gay, like you guys.
From there, I then went on to watch all of Alvin YTP's videos, and then it just kind of evolved from there, I guess. I just wanted to do them, and I did them. Davey Smith says, my guy, Justin, have you made new friends as a result of what you do, like people talking to you on Twitter, and then later becoming friends with them, or people making comments on your videos and making friends with you from there? Also, how did you come to know Jimmy Davis? It seems like you two have a pretty rad friendship. I've been seeing those tennis matches, and that kind of stuff is always interesting. Cheers, NPCarlsson. Thank you for the question. I guess I've made friends, I mean internet friends. There's Jimmy, obviously, Emp, Jack, Nostalgic Brony, True to Mark, Crystal Fisher. I apologize if I'm forgetting somebody. Goop, maybe? Although I'm not sure if Goop would consider us friends, or maybe acquaintances. I apologize, Goop, if you're watching this and you were hoping we could be friends, and I've just acquaintance zoned you, but yeah, that sucks. I came to know Jimmy Davis, I think, from watching his entry in the 90s collab. A lot of people were kind of swarming to his channel, and I was like, oh, okay, well, I guess I'm a bit late here. And then I just got to know him, and then, you know, we both like each other's work. It's good. Starco's Crepe Shack asks, frozen or tangled? Frozen. Tavish de Groot says, wow, I don't remember subscribing to Jacksepticeye. You do look a lot like him, though. I mean that in a good way. I'm not Jacksepticeye. That random guy, though, asks, what's your favorite game of 2017? It's gotta be the Insane Trilogy. The great Michael Whitman himself asks, are you God? You know, I'm starting to wonder that myself. At school, people used to call me God, and that is not a joke. I swear to you, that's not a joke. Lonely Link 507 says, I'm not sure what to ask you. Do you like biscuits and gravy? Why would you ever mix biscuits with gravy? Anthony Ramirez asks, what was the first Crash game you played, and what was the hardest video you worked on? The first Crash game I've played, I think, well, I played a demo of Crash 2 first. It was on a PlayStation demo disc. It was the Bear It level. And then I played a bit of Crash Bandicoot 1 at my friend's house. Then I played some Crash Team Racing at my friend's house. And I didn't really properly get into the original games until much later. Hardest video I worked on was definitely Mash Bandicoot. All of the like animations I had to cut out and mask took forever. Zimt Shock asks, what do you hide under that hat? I've never seen you without it. What do you think?
Oh, it's so obvious.
Tony Amo asks, what's the sexiest animal? Answer honestly. You want me to answer honestly? I'm not sexually attracted to animals. There you go, that's what you asked for. You can't expect honesty and humor at the same time. Ty Days asks, what's your sexuality? I'm zoosexual. Sexually attracted to animals. There's an animal right there. Hello, horsey. Oh. It's presenting. No, I'm asexual, actually. To clarify, that one's not a joke. Cloud6556, what's your favorite level from Spyro 1, and why is it Ice Cavern? Ice Cavern sucks. Haunted Towers. Ron QuickSOTD3 asks, do you have any background in watching anime? Usually people redub them as abridged related to ones you might be familiar with, such as Pokemon or Dragon Ball Z, for example, 2015 being overly distorted, incomprehensible garbage, but now I see that with effort, they can be real bellyachers. Keep rocking along. All I took from that was incomprehensible. There we go. It is spring after all. Oh, okay. That's why they call it spring water. Except they don't, they call it Lucozade Sport Fit Water. Do you watch any Japanese shows? Anime. I'd happily watch more Japanese shows if they look like this. No offense, but you honestly look like one of those Irish guys that just go to the bar all night and sleep on a sidewalk to wake up in the next morning and go home and have your wife yell at you. I'm not Jacksepticeye. No asks, is YouTube your job? And if it isn't, what do you do? I am currently doing work experience for a housekeeping job, and hopefully that will lead into an actual job that I actually get money for. Is there any other jobs you wish you could have? Yeah, YouTube. Tree of All Productions asks, do you collect Lego? No. Captain Crafter asks, are you a Lego fan? I've seen a lot of Lego related stuff on your channel. You don't have to feel embarrassed if you are, and if you aren't, I guess that's okay too. I'm just very curious. Did I miss something? When have I ever shown any indication of being a fan of Lego? Wrath asks, how's life? I can't hear how's life without thinking of that bit from Link and the Hyrule Gang.
How's life?
But life is honestly really okay. The Fat Brooklyn Raccoon asks, if you could actually venture inside the world of one of your favorite childhood video games and get to befriend all of your favorite characters, what game would it be and why? Oh, it would definitely be Loco Roco. That I would love to live in that world. You'd just be happy all the time. Space Doggo asks, is that some Lego stuff in the background? If so, could you let us see them better? What is this Lego fascination that you guys think I have? There was no Lego behind me in the announcement video. Hammy asks, do you agree that you look similar to Mesut Ozil? Put a side-by-side thing here. Put a picture. Kek, God of Kek, asks, I know you have an affinity for Crash, But how do you feel about Nathan Drake and his games? Aren't they just a more realistic version of Crash? Lucy Moose asks, what made you start this channel? The reason I started the channel was because I had a couple channels before and I didn't really know where to go with them. And I thought, you know what, I just want to start fresh and just do basically whatever I want. But then I just thought, let's just make some YouTube hooks, but just like make them a lot better with some better editing software than I did in my previous channels. And then it just kind of evolved from there. And now I do a hell of a lot of stuff. And you guys love everything I do, and it's amazing. Ew. Mr. Game Nova asks, what crossovers would you like to see happen, whether it never happened or you just want to see it happen again? Crash and Spyro, obviously. I know it happened once and it was god awful. But if that happened again, like after the Reignited trilogy and after maybe a couple more actual new games from both of the franchises, if they did a proper console crossover, that would be the best thing in the world. Nice asks, can you play the piano?
Does that answer your question?
Smug Italian asks, how big is your pingus? Inches, please. Inches? This is America, pal. We use the matrix system. Jimmy Davis asks, hey Carly, I have a sort of a question. It's more of an observation, I guess. Why does the Dreams plaque behind you use your instead of your? Because that's exactly why I got it. They actually had two. These were in Poundland. There was one with the grammatical errors and one without. I obviously got the one with, because why wouldn't you want a plaque with two grammatical errors? I'm surprised you didn't notice the other one. Kazuya M89. Did you play RuneScape? If so, level and rares. I actually have a funny story about RuneScape, which I'm going to tell you right now. So years and years ago, like in primary school, one of my friends introduced RuneScape to me. I went over to their house and I logged into their computer and they were telling me how to set up an account and create a character. I believe my character's name was Groovy Dan number maybe, I don't know. They were like, okay, well now you know the password and stuff, you can go play this at your own house. So I went back to my house and I played and I was like, cool, I'm in this world and I have a little character and I can just walk around and I can type stuff in and talk to people. And then I discovered that if you hovered your mouse over people, then it would tell you their names. And so I thought, okay, I'm just gonna go around and say hi to everybody, address them by their name. And I was like, this is fun, I'm meeting people. And then I went up to some guy who was busy fighting something, I don't know. And I just went up, interrupted him and just said, hi, insert name here. I didn't care that he was fighting some beast. And then he goes, in a minute, Groovy Dan. And I'm like, oh, okay, I'll wait. And then, out of nowhere, he just says, Daniel? And I'm like, how do you know my name? And I freaked out, and I think that's the last time I played it. The phone keeps turning itself off. Favorite pet? Do you have any pets? You can't possibly ask me to pick a favorite. That's like picking a favorite sister. I have a favorite sister, but I'm not telling you which one it is. Right-handed or left-handed? I can't think of a joke for this. Believe in God/religion? I don't believe in religion, no, that doesn't exist, but I actually do believe in God in some way, not to the extent that some people do, but I do think that there's got to be some form of a God. Have you flipping turned off again? Things kind of have to happen in order for certain things to happen. Oh my God, I hate you. And I think that they are planned out by some sort of being in order for people to, I don't know, learn lessons or for certain things to be avoided. I don't know. This is the worst phone I've ever had, and I've only ever had one phone, and it's this one. It's interesting to think that stuff is not exactly looked after, because terrible things happen every day in the world, but I think that there's got to be some form of manipulation somewhere. The Real Regalia asks, how cool are you on a scale of 1 to 10?
You bet!
Scafrillis Productions asks, I can't think of any good questions at the moment, so for the time being, please answer the official Scafrillis placeholder question. What is your opinion on Shiny from Moana? Funny story, you introduced me to that song. I had never seen Moana before I got your Spyro entry. I didn't even realize that you'd used it in your Egg and your YTP because I didn't think they were the same song. Not long after I watched Moana and then Shiny starts and I'm like, I kind of recognize this, like I've heard this from somewhere. Okay, I thought of a real question. Have you played any Legend of Zelda games, and if so, which is your favorite? No, actually I haven't. I know, I'm sorry. I've never played any Pokemon games either. I mean, you can hate me for that. I've played like 2 Mario games, okay? This is just getting worse. Okay, it's fine, it's fine. Don't I just find the nicest areas to film? Merit host, love your profile pic by the way. How many rounds of that big YTP tennis might there be? There's gonna be one more, made by Jimmy, that will be the finale. I saw some Tomodachi Life characters at the end of a YTP tennis round. Do you have any thoughts regarding that game? I'm pretty sure what you saw were just me's, but I've never personally played Tomodachi Life. My sister's played it, and my sister really likes it. She also has Miitopia, and she's made me on it. I can't remember what job I have in that, but I'm pretty sure it's not something important. Mad Rusty asks, do you think traps are gay? Well, yeah. Ren asks, do you plan on making a story-based YTP like Mash Bandicoot or Ripto's Racist anytime soon, if ever? I know I said when I finished Mash Bandicoot that I didn't want to make any more story-based YTPs, but I think at some point I would like to make another one. Kristen Diaz asks, do you by any chance know Trudemark? Yes, I do, and I have proof. Look, I tweeted to him, and he said, yee.
Take my wood, you fucking slut.
Stepfan asks, what got you into YTP and editing as a whole? As a whole, I guess it started way back in like the first few years of having a computer at home. And I discovered Windows Movie Maker and I was like, wow, I can actually make kind of films here. And then it just evolves from there. And you like learn more editing skills as you go along. You get better editors, more professional editors. And then you just have fun. And nothing's better than fun, except funny. And now, for the last question, Santum asks one question. Why? Why not? And I think that's the perfect place to end this video. So, thank you all for watching this Q&A. I apologize that it took so long. Apologies if I didn't answer your question. But there was like well over 200 questions. I know I said that I'd try and answer them all, but I think the only ones I didn't answer are ones that I had already answered before, were similar enough to ones that were already in the video, or I just couldn't think of anything interesting to say. Is this shot too low? I think this shot's too low. Here we go. There we go. I'll just stand like this for the rest of the time. So, thank you very much for watching, and have fun. Pineapple. Pineapple. So stupid.